Hey, good afternoon, everybody. On this beautiful, oh my God, it's a beautiful Valentine's Day. Um, the Lord couldn't bless us with a more beautiful day. And I pray that everyone is enjoying this beautiful sunshine day here um, in Spartanburg, South Carolina. I know sometimes I have other people that's listening that may be in a different state. But here in Spartanburg, South Carolina, it is absolutely gorgeous on this Valentine's Day. And we're grateful to God that He has allowed us to witness another day of love. Hey, baby, witness another day of love that's in the air. And I appreciate all of you for once again joining and listening in always with the Hey Kim, listening in always with us on our topics on our Tuesday Talk with T. And this is a very, 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 and I pray that everyone really listen in on this particular topic on today because we're going to talk about getting your house in order. Getting your house in order. And when you hear that topic, yes, it does mean that we need to plan things for our lives while we're here for death. So we're going to talk about getting your house in order. And with everything that I do, I always want to start with a encouraging word for the week. And the encouraging word for the week is going to be found in Psalm 32 and 8. Psalm 32 and 8. And it says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you and watch over you. And that is Psalm 32, verse 8. Once again, it says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you and watch over you. So make sure always with the encouraging word for the week, I always pray that everyone really get into their word and just really study these encouraging words and things that we give out as for a scripture to hide the word in your heart that you won't sin against God, but to hide the word in your heart so that you will have word ready whenever the enemy tries to attack. So we're going to go and get started. We're going to get started with getting your house in order. And I just want to talk a few things. I'm not sure how much of this I'm going to get through on today, but I really want to talk a lot about it. And it is a fact. It is a fact that we're all going to die at some point. It is a fact that we're all going to, that's appointed to every man to die. And so we have to make sure that we are aware of that. But while it's not something you probably want to think about, you can make things a lot easier on yourself and your family if you get everything in order now. Um, hey, Felicia. So, once again, the topic is getting your house in order. Uh, Everybody either knows somebody or you've been through it or you're going through it yourself that been in this position where you've been caught on how to handle things when your loved one dies. Like I say, if you haven't been through it, you're going to go through it. Your family's going to go through it. And so we want to make sure that we let everybody know that it's so important about getting things right and setting everything in plan for your family when you die. Your unavoidable demise is hopefully not on your mind too often, but it's still something you should think about long enough to get everything in order. The one thing, hey Tom, the one thing that people have to understand once, like I said earlier, there's going to be appointed a day that we're going to leave this earth. And I begin to see a lot of people struggle on when your loved one died, you're trying to figure out where's this, what is that, how am I supposed to handle this, how do we plan, and there's a lot of ifs and a lot of what ifs and what we should have done or coulda, shoulda, woulda. It's a lot of that goes on. So we want to make sure that we try to get people uh, 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 doing things in the right manner. So doing so ensures that everything in your life is organized as others can see what you want to happen after you're gone, after you've died, and what you own and how to handle a variety of situations. These are very important things. The more you own, the longer it'll take. But it's not nearly as time consuming as it looks because most of this stuff you probably have already gone. You know, have already sent to ready to go. Like extra stuff, extra clothes, stuff that you don't need. You probably got them all packed up and they're just ready to go. Um, Things that you know that you're not going to need, you're not going to be able to, especially when you know that you're becoming ill and things of that nature. And some things, some people actually start letting things go. So that's also something to think about as well. But I want to give you a note. Now, you can do a lot of this stuff on your own, but it's a good idea to speak with a lawyer about your will, assets, and general estate planning. Everybody at least knows somebody that's in the law practice. If you are not understanding what's going on or how to handle things, try to reach out to someone, or you can reach out to someone that may know someone that's a lawyer, because they know the legalities of what you need to do, and having a general idea of how to plan things. And this, guys, is meant for more to get you acquainted with terms, and provide do-it-yourself options when applicable, and help you collect together what you need. A lot of times, that's why a lot of people try to seek legal counsel. And everybody that you go as far as legal counsel doesn't mean you have to pay X amount of dollars. But then I'm one of those that believe in people that give you service. You need to pay them for their service as well. A lot of times there are a lot of things that we can do, and I see my husband put some things down. We're going to talk about that as well. But there's a lot of things that you need to do that you can basically start doing now and do it bit by bit. Well, let's talk about it. Okay. Decide what happens after you die. Okay. Let's decide what happens after you die. Well, planning for your death is actually two things: what happens after you die, and what happens if you're ill and unable to handle decisions yourself. Okay. There's two things: what happens after you die, and what happens if you're ill and unable to handle decisions yourself. So let's start with taking care of what happens after you die. Start with some people put a last will and testament together. Some people put a last will and testament together. So if you write your last will and testament, it's a document that's designated what happens with your property, guardianship of your children, names the person, which is the executor, who carries out your wishes after you die. Okay? If you don't own a lot of properties, a simple will is likely all you need. And sometimes you don't may not own a lot of property, so some things are just as simple if you just simply put things down. And My husband put down, there are a lot of free forms on the internet that you can simply need to get, and just simply need to get notarized. And I also want to drop that nugget, because devoted to him, we do have notary services. I'm a notary public. So anything that you may need notarized, I'm your girl. So just let me know. But these are things that you can simply go online and just fill out free forms, and these are free forms, and just get it together, get it notarized, and we're going to talk about what you need to do with that afterwards, okay? It's possible to draft up a simple will on your own, but it comes with its own set of pros and cons. So that's why it's best that you get someone. If you're not sure about it, get someone as a lawyer or a legal person that that can sort of help you out. Kim, I see you. See, there are papers that's also at FedEx on Pine Street. That's good to know. I'm glad you said it, because I had no idea. So FedEx is a place that's on right there on Pine Street, on the corner of East Main and Pine Street. They have papers there that you can fill out. Thank you, Kim, for that. But also you want to make sure that you do things in the right order, and we're going to talk about in a few moments how you can put those things in the right order and what to do after you have done that. Now, some things are online wills, so no, Pastor brought that up. Online wills are a one-size-fits-all solution that can't always account for the complicated situation of real life. So make sure, if you pull those information down online, make sure it's something that's simple enough that you understand it and your family will understand. Because there are things, it's good to pull things off, or you can go, like Kim said, and go to FedEx and pull some information there. But make sure you read everything before you get it all notarized, and make sure that there's something that your family and you and your family will understand. Okay. I also want to talk about like writing a write and living trust. The most straightforward way to avoid probate is simply to create a living trust. And a living trust is merely an alternative to a last will. Okay, a lot of people may go through a living trust versus a last will, so either one is fine. But unlike a will, which merely distributes your assets upon death, a living trust places your assets and property in trust. Okay, in trust, which are then managed by a trustee for the benefit of your beneficiaries. So there's a lot of us that may have like, if you have assets to such as retirement plans, 401ks, banking information, your bank accounts, savings, any type of wealth in that matter. I pray that you have a beneficiary on these accounts because that will help. That will help a lot. It allows you to avoid probate entirely because the property and assets are already distributed to the trust. So make sure that you have like a beneficiary on certain legal things, such as those things I just mentioned, the 401ks, the retirement plans. Make sure not only just one person, there's always you have like a second person, a third person, because sometimes the one person, the first person that you may have, they may die before you. So it's always best to have another person and another person on those particular documents, such as your 401k and your retirement. Okay, number two, name beneficiaries on your retirement and bank accounts, what I just mentioned. For some, a living will is often a better fit than a trust because it is more straightforward estate planning document. Yet, just because you have written a will doesn't mean that all of your assets have to pass through probate. Important was what most people don't realize is that many of our most valued assets allow us to name beneficiaries. Like I just mentioned, especially banking accounts. You know, they will 401ks, retirement. They will allow you to put beneficiaries down. In fact, you may not have realized that the bank account you opened when you got your first job probably enabled you to designate a beneficiary that is payable on death. In other words, do your homework, especially if you have something that's on your job. Do your homework. Do your homework. And so, Kim, I see you. So both of your girls are on yours at work. Perfect. You know, so do your homework. Do your homework. And some of these things is payable upon death. So, and that helps out with the family once you have gone. Okay. Number three is hold property jointly. Hold property jointly. Another great way to keep your real estate out of probate is to consider holding your property jointly. If you and a spouse or a significant other are thinking about purchasing a first home or even already own your own home, owning jointly allows the property to pass automatically to your significant other without having to go through probate. I need to say that again. I need to say it again. If you and a spouse or significant other are thinking about purchasing a first home or even already own your own house, owning jointly allows the property to pass automatically to your significant other without having to go through probate. It doesn't matter if you are married or not. That doesn't matter if you're married or not. If the property is designated a jointly held property, it is going to go to the surviving member of the couple. That's an automatic. That's an automatic. And so you have to make sure. I just want people to understand. And like I said, as we get through this, I want people to understand. I'm trying to get to a point where we're gonna get to this topic about how we need to handle things and make it a lot easier for your family once you're gone. Okay. So these laws and requirements change often, and if you don't do it right, you might unintentionally give someone more power over your estate than you want. And most simple wills have just a few sections which you can say what happens to your assets and designate who gets any property you own. Okay, so it's just important. It's just important. Like for instance, if when you're drafting up your will, you also name your executor. Name somebody. When you draw your will up, name somebody. After you die, this is the person you trust who will handle your estate, all of your property. This is the person you trust to handle your estate, all of your property, your finances, your debts, and everything else. Let me help you out. This person is got to be someone that's very important because there are some people, quite a few people that still have debts that's out there. Okay, it could be something as simple as a car note, your mortgage, things that's out there that if something was to happen to you and these things have not paid off. So you have to think about those things, because these things still have to be paid. Let's just say you have a car, a brand new car, brand new car. For let's just say you got the car last month. Something happens to you today, tomorrow. Don't you know that someone still have to make sure that the car note is paid for? And so it behooves us to make sure that we understand things. So when you purchase things, you could even talk about, before you sign the dotted line, if it's something that can help you say if something happens to me, what would happen? It's okay to ask those questions. Okay, so it's just very important. So make sure you name an executor that you trust to handle your estate, all of your property, your finances, your debts, and everything else. Now, sometimes it can become a headache for the executor. It can. But this is a person, you sit down with and you talk things out with them. In other words, don't let the executor be caught off guard once you have died. Like, oh my God, I didn't think mama had all this. Oh, I didn't think daddy had all this. It's okay to sit down with the executor, the person that you trust to be your executor, and sit down and say, this is what I have. As a matter of fact, it's really very important you do that. If you have your children, one of your children that will become an executor, it's okay to have all of your kids to come together and say, okay, I'm choosing you, daughter number one or son number one, to be the executor. And this is what's going on in my life. It's okay to do that. So you got to make sure that we are on point with that. It should go without saying that this is a person you would trust to handle your estate when you're alive. I want to say that once again. This is the same person that you choose as an executor. You trust them now. Because see, when you're dead, you don't know what's going to happen. So you trust this person now. So make sure that the executor is someone that you trust even while you are alive. Because once you're dead, a probate court will officially give power to your executor to handle your affairs. Okay? They do not have control over your estate until after you die. Okay? It's just so much is impacting this. So much is impacting this. And I want to try to get to this as much as possible. Finally, to make the will legally binding, you usually need to get signatures from at least 2 witnesses who are beneficiary listed somewhere on your will. 2 witnesses they're not beneficiaries on your will now. And it's advisable to get a notary public to notarize that. Once again, I'm your girl. Need a notary public? That's me. That's part of our outreach that we service the people of South Carolina to do notary public service. If you have a lot of assets that you want to designate to multiple people, or to make sure your will is legally sound, you should speak with a lawyer about getting a more advanced will written up. At least somebody that you know. If you don't know a lawyer, you probably know someone that does. There's several people that I know personally that are lawyers, that are working a legal aspect, and it's okay to call and ask them. That's what they're there for. That's what they're there for. So it's okay to get a lawyer when you really have a lot of questions, because things start getting really tricky when finances are involved. And if you have a lot of assets, it's worth at least consulting with a lawyer. Because if you have a lot of property and you have a lot of assets, hidden assets, sometimes maybe your family might not even know, which is, I'm one of those people that I believe at least someone in your family needs to know everything about you as far as what's going on in your life. Because once again, once you're dead, your family don't need to be stunned to the point to where they had no idea what was going on with you. So it's okay to to talk to a lawyer, because a lawyer is also handy to set up trusts, so your family gets paid. So it's good to make sure that you know someone or get advice from a lawyer. Okay. Here's another one. Outline the funeral or the memorial service. Unless a lot of people have done pre-planning of their service, and that's an excellent idea. My husband and we started pre-planning things for the two of us. I think it's great so that our children, our daughters, they already have an idea what our plans are. But I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to write something down so it'll be easy for them to know what my wishes are, even during the planning of my funeral service. Uh, Obviously, this step is optional. You don't have to do that, but it does pay to help out. So that way, because I've seen a lot of things, I've seen a lot of people go through. What in the world I need to do? I don't know I don't know where to start. I don't know how to handle this, because they're already upset about the deaths, and so they just need like an extra push to say, well, mom or daddy, they did have this outline. They just have this going on. So it's okay to pre-plan your funeral service, and you can even do this online. Okay, and whichever funeral mortuary that you choose, they can also help you as well. They can help you go through the step by step. And once your time to die has come, then your children or whoever your executor is, they already have an idea that this is who you want to use. The funeral service, the funeral home, already have that in place. It makes it easy for everyone. And even with the funeral home, they don't have to have a headache helping you get through your headache. So it's good to pre-plan. Doing so does get rid of the headache, as I mentioned. Planning for your family and ensures you get what you want. You don't need to go in and plan everything out, but here are a few things you may want to consider. If you want a burial, you need to find a grave plot. If you want a burial, you need to find a grave plot. You need to contact a local cemetery and purchase a plot. Trust me, all these things are important. If you want a specific cemetery or a plot, the earlier you do this step, the better. I promise you, it takes a lot of pressure off of people. If you want to be cremated, you'll work with the funeral director, so contact that mortician, that mortuary, and arrange those details if you want to be cremated. A lot of people don't like to hear that, but sometimes I let people understand, they have to understand that people choose what they want to do. If a person chooses to be cremated, don't get upset with that person because, oh my, I don't want to get burned. Well, my brothers and sisters, your soul is the one that's going to go to the heavenly home, or the shell is not the real us. The real us is our soul. So don't get so bent out of shape about people that wants to get cremated. Okay? Because once you die, your destination, the real you is already made their place of whether it's heaven or hell. Okay? So, don't get, like I said, don't get all twisted up about cremation. Decide if you want to prepay for any arrangement, so you don't have to worry about your family paying for anything while they wait to get access to your money. It's okay to do that. It's okay to do that. It's make sure that you talk it over with, like I said, whoever the funeral home service may be. Talk it over with them. Okay? And at this time, you can also decide if you want anything specific in a memorial service, how you want to, if you're going to have a wake, because some people still have wakes, or quiet hours, and everything else. And it's also common to add these details to the will, so it won't make your loved ones feel so, okay, what are we supposed to do? It's okay to put that down. It's okay to put that down. Okay? I see the time is ticking. I'm going to keep it moving, okay? Designate what happens if you're ill or incapacitated. Just as important as what happens after you die is what happens if you're ill. incompetent or incapacitated. Incapacitated means that you are unable to speak. I mean, you can't say anything. If you're in a coma, that all this is incapacitated. If you're unable to do anything, so for this you need a living will, a power of attorney, and a medical or healthcare power of attorney. And it sounds a little scary. It does. But don't worry, it doesn't take a lot of time. By the end, you'll know that you'll only get the medical support you want. Okay? These things are very important. They're very, in my field of nursing for almost 40 years, I've seen the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. So it's important to designate things and to make sure that, like, things such as designating the power of attorney. And that's that person. The power of attorney is that person who can attend to your financial and legal matters if you fall ill or unable to handle them for yourself. It's a good idea to choose a power of attorney so that they can attend to your financial and legal issues immediately after you fall ill. Okay? The power of attorney, that position expires when you die. And listen to me. The power of attorney, that stops after you die, when you die. And the control of your finances typically shifts to the executor you named in your will. Because a lot of people get tripped up on, well, after mama died, well, I was a power of attorney. Well, okay, that title is gone, baby. Because mama's gone. Everything falls on that executor that I spoke about earlier. And in some cases, it's usually the same person. Sometimes the executor and the power of attorney is the same person. Okay? So it's okay. So I think a lot of people prefer to do it that way. So once again, after you have died, the person that you chose as a power of attorney, that title goes after you have died. Okay? So, and you have a lot of choices for different types of power of attorney, but experts typically recommend a dual power of attorney. I mean, you maybe two people. Okay? They suggest that just in case, so you have family members, okay, mama did everything for this one person. So there's such thing as a dual power of attorney. This type of power of attorney goes into effect immediately after you sign the document and lasts will until you die. And essentially, when you sign it, your power of attorney will have immediately access to your finances and legal matters the second you declare incompetent or incapacitated. Okay? Now, I'm going to, because of the time essence, I'm going to skip through one of the main thing that I wanted to talk about. Please make sure everybody has life insurance. Let me say this again. Please make sure you have life insurance. One of my pet peeves, and I'm going to say it, some people might disagree, but I'm going to say it. It bothers me when people go on Facebook and go do a GoFundMe to raise money to bury a loved one. That bothers me. Please get some life insurance. Go online. You can Google anything. I don't care. You can Google anything. Please get some life insurance. We all are going to die one day. The one thing that bothers me is that, and when you get the life insurance, when you set things up for your family, please set it up to where they know how to put their hands on it. That means that you need to have something. Some people call it a legacy box, or some people call it like a safe deposit. I don't care wherever you put it, but you need to have all of your documents in one area, so your family member knows to go exactly to that area to find what they need and when they need it. Please get some life insurance on you. Believe it or not, it's not too late. Now, the older you get, now don't start creeping on it. There's some insurance that at least you can get insurance at least up to age 85. Now, if you start looking after 85 now, come on. Get some life insurance and put everything, all of your documents, if you have 401ks, retirement, your banking account, insurance, all of the things, your bills, your debts, everything that you owe, everything needs to be put in a safe deposit box. Now, my husband said not all things. It depends on how you have it set up. But it's important that people need to know your most important assets. Life insurance is one of them. That's the key one. And so you don't have to worry about, okay, am I going to have to pay to bury this, my loved one? Am I going to have to pay for it? Because I don't know whether or not they had life insurance. Like you need to have that in a proper place. In a proper place, along with all the other things that you have, so that your family would know exactly what's happening. Set it up in a master file. Set it up in a master file. Your will, letter of instructions, birth certificates, marriage certificates. If you, those people that had to become a citizen, legal citizen of the United States, have their citizenship papers, divorce or separation papers, adoption papers, social security number or card, passport, believe it or not, your driver's license, believe it or not. If you was in the military, your military records, name, address, and telephone numbers of healthcare providers, of healthcare proxies, your living will, medication, all of your medicines, the doses, the name of your prescription, your prescribing physician, the pharmacy, address and phone numbers to hospital of choice, your Medicare number, your Medicaid number, your health insurance number. If you have those people that a social worker had to come in, or a caseworker had to come in, get their names and contact information. Password, websites, and other digital information. You'd be surprised of what people can find on your social media that may be very important. Your income source, whether your retirement and or disability benefits, social security benefits, your financial assets, your financial institution, your bank, your bank account numbers, the address and the phone number to the bank. All of these, I know I'm putting a lot out there, but all of these things really need to be compiled in one area because your family's going to need all of this. Your family's going to need all of this. Your bank accounts, if you have stocks, if you have bonds, mutual funds, money market funds, retirement pension, IRAs, all of these need to be put in one area. If you own real estate, put the name in, you being the owner of the real estate, other assets, location of items and titles and documents, form of ownership, include your automobiles, if you own your car, if you're still paying on your car, all of this needs to be put in there. If you own other stuff, precious gems, collectibles, household items, hidden valuables, loans to family members and friends, all of those things you can put and compile in one area. Okay? Liability, some people, if you have loan companies that you owe, seriously, all of those things need to be compiled. The name of the people. If you're still paying on your house, if you have a mortgage, you need to put all of these things in one area. That's a lot. That's a lot. And I'm get ready to close because that's a lot I just gave you. But people of God, the reason I was so tuned into talking about this today because I want us to always be a step ahead in what we need to do and plan for our death. Nobody wants to talk about it. But we need to do this. Y'all catch what I'm saying? We need to do this so that our families are not left struggling on what to do after we have died. Now, you can always go back and tune into this. Make sure, like I always tell people, to share Tuesday Talk with T. Share this on your personal Facebook page so other people can see. We also have a YouTube channel. You can always go to YouTube channel, youtube.com/devoted to him. We put it there, but like once again, you can always go back to Facebook Live. But please, 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 if you have any questions of us, please, you can inbox us. You can email us at info@devotedservants.org. That's info@devotedservants.org. You can call. You can call our number. For those of you know us personally, you can call us. But please, please, I want everybody to always be informed of what we need to do to get our house in order. God bless you, children of God. One other thing, I want to remind everybody that my husband will be doing Bible study moments tomorrow versus Thursday. This weekend he has to prepare and prep for a surgical procedure he's getting ready to have this weekend. So his Bible study moment will be tomorrow at 4. He's going to do part 2 of We Exist to Glorify God. If you missed it last week, you need to tune in and go back and do a rewind of last week. It was phenomenal. So please, please tune in tomorrow at 4 o'clock for his part 2 of We Exist to Glorify God. Thank you so much for listening. Once again, if you have any questions, as my husband had put this in, these suggestions from us are for informational purpose only. I'm not a lawyer. I don't do things legal, but anything we do from our outreach is that it's for information purpose only. Please seek the attention of those who know better, such as a lawyer, like I mentioned earlier. They can walk you through all of these things. These are just suggestions that was on my heart to talk about on today. Love you guys so much. Once again, if you have any questions, you can always let us know, and we will try our best to point you to the right people to walk you through what you need to walk through. Love you guys so much. Thank you so much. We're going to pray, and we're going to let you go. Father, in the name of Jesus, God, we thank you so much for this time. We thank you for every opportunity that you give us to just simply share information to those who are in need of knowing what to do. God, all of us need to sit down and think about getting our house in order and to sort of prepare and to try to prepare for our family, so when it comes to our time to die, so none of us will be struggling on what to do next. God, we thank you so much for this. We pray that you were pleased with the effort that we put out on today for these, your children. God, we love you so much and we honor you. Thank you so much for this beautiful Valentine's Day that you have allowed us to see. God, we ask that you continue to show us your love, continue to show us your grace and your mercy. God, we thank you so much for always being the center of our joy and the joy of our strength. It is in the mighty, precious, and powerful name of Jesus we do pray. Amen. Love you guys.